Hello, everyone! Blue Star Saber here once again to do another Percy Jackson review. Season 2, Episode 6. Nobody Gets the Fleece. This episode's follow-up to the last one where we check in on the CC Spa Resort, where it seems like Tyson has perished in the ship, and Percy and Annabeth must now escape Cersei Spa in order to escape, where instead in the books where she just tries to offer girls to become sorcerers and turn all males to pigs, or now in this case guinea pigs. And instead, she tries to rehabilitate demigods who have stayed there for decades or even centuries, it seems, and saying that only to make sure they go through her therapy in order to then leave the island, only to find out that that's not really the case for your Percy, and that she keeps them there so she isn't really alone. She tries to cover this, but Percy and Annabeth escape, and Percy, due to I think his strong attachments to Annabeth, if you will, ends up protecting her from when the sirens draw her in and all that stuff. And Percy learns his fatal flaw is that he will risk anything to save his friends and all that. So yeah. Meanwhile, you see Clarice catching up with Grover, whose identity has been revealed, whose unfortunately identity has been revealed to the Cyclops, but then it captures Clarice using Grover's voice, and it turns out he knew all along and has been planning to trap them since he knew about the other demigods arriving, so he is keeping them alive. To prepare for them and set a trap. So yeah, how we're going to find out how this episode plays out? Well, and we've got a comment from the Power to 99 saying, there's something I always want to talk about since season 2 began, and it's how they changed Tyson's character from the books, and I feel like it's for the better. Well, I suppose I should do a quick comment on this first. I suppose in a sense, yes, if in some ways Tyson's character probably works for a bit more older TV audience in the show, because in the books, well, since due to the fact that Cyclops is, take a bit more longer to age, Tyson, even though he's arguably bigger than Percy, Annabeth, and Grover, he is mentally like I believe a 6-year-old or something. So he's, or maybe something a bit young, maybe a little older but slightly younger, but arguably he's not, he's a bit younger, so he's a bit younger, so yeah, as a result he comes off a bit more childish, and with someone going like, I am Sidera is my favorite. I'm just going to type this, let me just type Iron Simadar. Yes, the actor who plays Grover. Yeah, I believe he does a pretty good job with playing with Grover, especially what he's been given with Grover. I thought he does a good role of playing like Percy Jackson's best friend, and I do like some of the scenes he got, particularly when his conversation with Pythagoras in this episode. So yeah, but yeah, getting back to Power to 99's comments, yeah, arguably. Arguably having him a bit more round Percy Jackson, being a bit more round Percy Jackson's age mentally, if you will, arguably probably did the show probably a bit more favor with older audiences and all that stuff. So yeah, I think that probably helped with Tyson's character, since the show is much different from the books, which is more aimed at younger demographics technically, and with Bippo Bias 11122 saying he really nailed the role. Yes, arguably, I'd definitely say probably the best actor amongst the three main cast, if I had to be honest. But so yeah, let's see. He does feels like the best performance out of the three. But yeah, anyway, speaking of Tyson, the episode onto the summary. Though, feel free to make some comments. Let's see. For me, he stole the show. That is fair. I do like his scenes with Ares last season. But anyway, as these comments were talking about Tyson, the summary, the episode begins with, revealing that Tyson survived, the ship's crash, and he finds in sort of like a necklace as it's Annabeth's necklace in the ocean as something is coming towards him. Meanwhile, Percy dreams about camp. Seemingly all the campers are dead, and it looks like Kronos is in there, but he realizes it's someone else. Wakes up, tells Annabeth about it, and she deduces that it's Thalia and all that stuff. So, which gets Percy concerned because of like what his mother once told him about dreams. So, let's see. He wonders if that means that it could come true and that Thalia might actually come back and destroy camp or something. If I had to guess. Meanwhile, Polyphemus is Polyphemus. I always get the names mixed up. Polyphemus is sort of I see my viewers have left. Oh, that's a shame. But Polyphemus. Tyson being able to breathe underwater is something I don't think they revealed until near the end of the books. But then again, the show isn't from Percy's point of view, and it's from everybody's. Yeah, arguably, no. Arguably, we know Tyson's the son of Poseidon, so it makes sense. So, arguably, yes. We do not see Tyson getting out of the water and all that stuff in the books. I mean, he's pretty absent for a certain chunk of the book due to the fact that he's presumed dead, and arguably, but I think, but given the fact he's a son of Poseidon, I think you can buy that he survived. So, yeah, I think that works. But yeah, anyway, Polyphemus is talking with Grover and Annabeth, showing his collection of satyr skulls, mimicking their voices. One of them bringing up anime and manga, I think. Another bit more older thing. Talks about the tranquility of his island, his own paradise, and all that stuff. And when Grover demands to know how on earth did he get the fleece and how did he figure out it works, he reveals that apparently the god Pam actually brought it to the island, which shocks Grover, which let's see, Bippalabius 112, I will admit, since I don't think you're here anymore, but like I said earlier, the scene really captures Grover, the actors really captures Grover's shock that the god Pam was here and giving the fleece to Polyphemus and all that. So yeah, that's going on. Percy and Annabeth arrive on the island. They plan to use the sheep to disguise themselves as a Polyphemus' sheep, and get close enough to the cave so they can steal the fleece and rescue Grover. During this, let's see, operation where Percy's on lookout, Annabeth gets a call from Luke, who's warning them about Polyphemus' cunning, but Annabeth is just trying to dismiss him since she thinks you're not really trying to help her, but she does admit that Luke is probably right on one thing, and let's see, Thalia did hate Zeus but didn't think she would join Kronos. And as they get more into this argument, as I think Luke is trying to say something about the care. Percy arrives, interrupting the call, and we got another comment from Paladin99 saying, wasn't there ever in the book or some kind of Sun Show adapted pen being one who brought the fleece to the Polyphagment Island? Oh, the Polyphemus getting the pan. If you're talking about Pan, no, that is an original thing from the show. The books never did that. If anything, it seems like the books implied that Polyphemus found the fleece himself, used it to use as bait for and used it to capture satyrs for centuries or thousands of years. And it's thanks to let's see, Grover and Percy and his friends taking the fleece back that this no longer happens to satyrs. So let's see, that is the only thing that goes on with the Pan storyline. It's Grover gets a little praise from the council for making sure that future searchers do not get trapped by Polyphemus, and then they can focus more on finding Pam, in which you see that more progress in the next two books, of course. So let's see. So The show, that was an original plot point of the show, which I'm very curious to see where they go through with this. But yeah. Anyway, Annabeth anyway, Percy tries to tell Annabeth not to trust Luke, but let's see. But Percy just tries to get them to like speed up as they get onto the sheep thing. Polyphemus seems to lead them up there, though granted they crawl at first before eventually walking properly, even pretending to do bar like sheep, if you will, which I wasn't really expecting. But yeah. Let's see, the sheep eventually head to the cave. They Percy and Annabeth head to the top. Let's see, plan their rope tying and all that stuff. They realize that Clarice is there, which complicates their plans as let's say they might not have time for two. So Percy dives in to try and rescue them, but let's see, Clarice and Grover try to warn him, with Clarice breaking a mirror and trying to use a mirror to cut the rope in her. Eventually, Annabeth realizes from feeling like Golden drops that the golden fleece up top is not the actual one, and realizes it's a trap. As Polyphemus is coming up to the top, she uses her invisible cap before warning Percy, and Clarice says the same thing. He falls down. So, yeah, Percy gets mocked by Polyphemus. And Annabeth then distracts him by claiming to be nobody, which enrages him and all that, Polyphemus. And as she brings up, oh, wait, yeah, you got tricked by, let's see, Odysseus for, who pretended to be the name Nobody when he stabbed you in the eye, which enrages him. As Grover tries to sense the actual fleece and finds it. Eventually, Polyphemus comes back to the island and, back to the entrance to his door. Annabeth stabs Polyphemus and he whacks her with his club thing. I should say during this time, Luke has also appeared on the island after having a contact with his now seems to be right-hand demigod ally, Alison Sims, wondering, why do you care so much about Annabeth? She's not important and all that stuff, but Luke's just saying he's doing for reconnaissance. But you see throughout the bits when Annabeth is distracting Luke, he's showing concern and all that stuff, but is trying to do his mission. Let's see. Eventually, for Percy and the others, as they're trying to desperately escape, Tyson suddenly shows up and fights Polyphemus using his strength. They're trying to say, Polyphemus trying to get Tyson to join him, but he's saying they're like brothers and all that stuff, but he declares that Percy is his brother. And during the thing, eventually Tyson is able to throw off Polyphemus with him off into the cliff. Luke arrives, seeing everything in his best estates, asking the demigods to get inside to give him the golden fleece. Clarice reluctant, doesn't want to do that because of the quest and mission, but Percy is desperate to do so. Grover tries to persuade Clarice to do the same. Well, then Percy at one point trying to say, can you use your teleporting abilities to get in and all that? But Luke says that only way works on him. And eventually Percy takes the fleece from Clarice and gives it to Luke. He does use it to heal Annabeth, but then takes Annabeth away. Clarice gets mad at Percy, but Percy said he had no choice. Eventually, Tyson reveals to have come up from the ocean, moved the boulders and all that, and let them out. Apologizing to Percy that he could have gone after Annabeth and Luke, but let's see, news and then Percy embraced him, happy to see his brother again. By the time they get to where the shore of the island, well, also I forgot to mention, Tyson says that Polyphemus is no more. Let's see, won't hurt anyone again. Luke has already sailed off in his boat, with Clarice wondering what they're going to do now. And then Tyson using the necklace that Annabeth had as a child. Let's see, has it glow a bit, and we see magic, I believe. Let's see, they are called Hippocampia, and saying that, let's see, the lead one is Rainbow, and four of them show up. Percy and everyone realizes that they can use the hippocampus to sail on the ship, to ride on them, and to catch up to Luke, ending the episode on an optimistic note, at least a chance of catching Luke, if you will. So that's the end of the episode, and quick comment from Biopolarius12. Do you love Stranger Things and its ending? Sadly, I can't get over it. Sad emoji and thing. I have not watched Stranger Things. Arguably, I probably should have, but I haven't. Granted, let's see, now it's over. let's see. I might find time to watch it, but at the moment, I am watching The Witcher. So I am watching that at the moment. So I'm prioritizing that show, but at the moment, it's not something I'm going to watch all the time. But let's see, at the moment on Netflix, my main focus on the show is The Witcher. Granted, if I find the time, perhaps I will watch Stranger Things. Now, granted, I have heard for most part the first four seasons are really good, but the fifth one has resulted in mixed results. With the final apparently being decent, though I guess it depends on who you ask, because there are some, let's just say, political discourse and one of the characters coming out as gay, from my understanding. But that is basically all I know about Stranger Things. But anyway, let's see. Sorry if that's not the answer you wanted to hear. Probably does, but no, I haven't really watched those Stranger Things. But yeah. Anyway, now for my overall thoughts on Percy Jackson. Let's see, sixth episode of its second season. I will admit, I was a bit surprised that they would show Tyson surviving at the beginning of the episode. I wonder if they were going to wait until like the end of when he comes to the rescue, but no, they showed it at the beginning of the episode, which I will admit, I thought that meant we were going to see a bit of his story going out of what he was doing since then, but no, but yeah. And I will admit, I did kind of, which I thought was a little disappointing, since him suddenly showing up out of nowhere like he did, kind of felt a bit, let's see, okay, wait, what the heck? But granted, that's what happens in the books, technically. Let's see, that him coming to save the day when Polyphemus is attacking them and all that stuff. But let's see, with like with Rainbow and the other hippocampus, if you will. So in that regard, I think it's fine, but yeah. I do like his fight with Pythagoras. Granted, it wasn't really the main focus, but let's see. We did see enough of it, and I do like how at first the fight, if you were the fight, Pythagoras is trying to get Tyson to side with him, but over the demigods. But of course, you know Tyson would not do that, since let's see, he just given the fact he spent such much time with Percy and views him as his brother, and that he's saying that he's the only brother I have amongst a lot of him. So I do like that, and I do like at first. Let's see, Tyson. Let's see. At first, it seems like a stalemate before Pythagoras, being the bigger Cyclops, gets the advantage. And it looks like a minute win, but then Tyson tries to say, like, I don't really want to hurt you to like Polyphemus, if you will, though which he just goes scoffs, and that's when Tyson starts taking the advantage of that moment's a distraction and then throws off the cliff. Granted, I will admit, I thought it's a bit surprising that they actually killed off Polyphemus in the show, because in the books we know that he actually still alive, and he thinks he actually finally sunk nobody. Granted, I am wondering how that can be a case, but how he can be actually properly dead now, since if Tyson can breathe, and let's see, as I think Pilot 99, though granted I don't think he's watching right now. Let's see, the whole water breathing thing is, if Tyson can, surely Polyphemus can, or is it just only ability that Tyson has, but amongst his Cyclops brethren? But I don't know. I think it could have been something like that could have been done, but yeah. Well, granted, I will admit I really enjoyed Polyphemus as the antagonist. Granted, he's not the dumbass as you see in the books. He's actually quite cunning. Heck, even Luke talks about how cunning he is, which I will admit. Let's see, it was a bit surprising to see him in this episode, but yeah. But one thing I do like about how one thing detail is that when he mimics the voice of satyrs that he's killed and all that stuff. Let's see, he hold their skull and talks their voice and some of the things that they once said. as he likes to do it as a bit of a collection of conversations when he debates with Clarice about the tranquility of his island and all that stuff. And she wonders, like, you have no one to talk to and all that stuff. So yeah, I do like how it seems this philosophy is like there's his own little island, there's his own little world. He will do whatever it takes to protect it, deceive, kill satyrs, kill demigods, and all that. And I do like how he talks about how he only kept like Clarice and Grover alive just so that he can use them as bait to capture Percy and Annabeth, which I do like how he painted the golden fleece to like trick Percy and Annabeth, though Annabeth realizing with the paint job and all that stuff. So I do like that. Anyway, what else to talk about? I guess Percy's dream with the whole Clarice thing. I do like how he's like worried about it, given what his mom says and all that stuff. Granted, we do know in the end, Thalia will not join Kronos if you've read the books, but I think like this is building attention to like Thalia being brought back, if you will, because Percy's going to be unsure. Percy would probably be a bit unsure of whether or not he can trust Thalia, given the fact that it's like given those dreams, though, which might cause conflict in the next season. Though, granted, I do like how when Annabeth is talking to Luke, he says like, "Okay, yes, Thalia, she didn't really like her dad and all that stuff, and some of the demigods, but there's no way she would join Kronos over that." So, I do like how that has been brought up, if you will. So, yeah, which I will admit, I was a bit surprised to see Luke in this episode. But granted, I guess they decided since Luke is one of the main characters, he should try and show up in a few more episodes. So, because we know in the books he doesn't show up until after the island, and Percy has sent Clarice on an airplane to bring the fleece back to like Camp Half-Blood and all that. So, but yeah. But I do like this episode sort of delves in his sort of like struggles, if you will. Like he's clearly committed to his cause, and you even get like Alison Sims is like the show created demigod, who I do like as being like being like the sort of devil on Luke's shoulder, saying you don't actually care for like for like the child of Athena now and all that stuff. But I do like and I know he says that no, I'm just doing it for reconnaissance, which arguably that's probably the intention, but you can clearly tell he does care about Annabeth, because you see throughout the episode when Annabeth is fighting Polyphemus and all that stuff with the invisible hat thing. He's looking back to show concern as whether or not Cyclops has actually hit her, and when he does see Annabeth's body, he does like wants to heal her and all that stuff. And I do like how a bit of the like the others are like the other demigods are like not really even sure they can trust Luke, but of course he does of course heal Annabeth. He could have just left her to die, but it shows that he does still care about Annabeth. So yeah, I do like that they showed that sort of thing, and I think this change I think could build well to like ultimately what happens in the last Olympian, or arguably be the 5th season of this show. So I think that this sort of works. And let's see. Oh yeah, I suppose I should get to like Annabeth a bit. I do like how one thing I was wondering like how they're going to handle the whole I'm nobody thing with Polyphemus, because we know that he's much more smart in this. But I do like how when she said she taunts use, but instead and I was wondering like, okay, with the title, how are they going to make this? Because I'm pretty certain with the way Polyphemus is, it's like, surely he wouldn't be tricked by like the host, someone pretending to be nobody and all that stuff. But it's like when he's asking like which god sent you, and she goes like nobody sent me, and it's like it seems to rage him a bit, and Annabeth's like, yes, yes, he tricked you once, by saying that he was nobody as he stabbed your eye, if you will. So it seems that we learned that Polyphemus did get tricked by Odysseus the same way in the thing, which I suppose it should be a good thing that didn't change, let's see, Greek mythology just to fit this new character. But he did get once tricked, and someone lied about his name, and Annabeth is just taunting rather than pretending to be the actual nobody from all that time ago. So I do like that at the very least, and just how much it seems to enrage him while Annabeth is invisible. So I thought that was good. But one thing I do like about this episode is okay, last episode we saw Percy's fatal flaw being discussed, and here you could argue we have an example of that being here, as arguably Percy shouldn't give, let's see, Luke the fleece, because that is the only way to save the camp and all that stuff. And if Luke gets it, he'll use it to bring back Kronos. So we do see this is arguably the show doing a very good example of Percy's fatal flaw, risking everything to save a friend. So I thought this was a clever way to do it, and I wouldn't be surprised if in the next season, when Percy finally meets Athena and they have that conversation, she brings up, Percy's actions with the Golden Fleece to giving it to Luke as an example of, like, you would do anything to save your friends, even if it means destroying the world, which, due to the fact he gave the Golden Fleece to Luke, he could have very much destroyed the world, as he would have used that to revive Kronos. So yeah, but other than that, I do like his. I do like how he is. I do like him reuniting with Tyson, and they have something having a brotherly bond and all that stuff. And I do like that. Turns out in the end, Luke's bead bracelet that he gave to Annabeth was in fact magical. It's just not magical in the way he said. Instead, it's a way of summoning the, hippocamp, or particularly Rainbow. So so that line about Tyson last 2 episodes ago, when Annabeth's like, where'd you get the bracelet? And he said Rainbow. But it turns out it seems like Rainbow probably gave Tyson that bracelet as a means of contact. So I do like how it's actually being used to somewhat. I do wonder if this means that Annabeth will sort of like slowly accept the bracelet again, or maybe even at the very least come to accept Tyson. We do know that Percy, after being absent for a bit with Tyson, shows that he does actually care for his brother. So yeah. But yeah, I do like how Clarice is like very determined to try and complete her quest, because that's what she's here for. I even like Grover's actor trying to do the plea of like using what she said, like it's actually Percy, maybe was it, that no men gets no more men to be sacrificed. So but I do like the dynamics between like the three, of Percy, Clarice, and Grover in this bit. Grover and Percy, of course, they would want to save Annabeth. Clarice is like going like focus on the crest, and even this is what Annabeth would want to do it. And so yeah, I do like this thing, and I am curious to see how these three will interact following the next episode. Granted, Tyson's along the way. Granted, from what we can tell, it seems Clarice is going to be having her own demigod battle, if you will, from the preview. But yeah. Overall, if I had to give this episode a rating, I'd probably give it a 8.5 out of 10. I think it was good for the most part. I thought the Polyphemus was quite good of a villain, if you will. The torn Luke has between his loyalties to Kronos and Annabeth's well-being, if you will. Percy showing his fatal flaw. I think Rose actor doing quite. Iron Simmer doing quite a good job. Particularly when learning about Pam apparently allegedly giving the fleece to Polyphemus. And seeing like Tyson take on Polyphemus, but I will admit Percy. I do think that him suddenly arriving as he did, I felt like it could have been perhaps maybe shown a bit more of a scene of what he was doing in between that. Could have been a bit more better since you've shown him to be alive first. So, yeah. I see that 5 people are watching. I'm curious to see do it in that. Oh, wait, now 1. If any of you have a score of how do you rate the episode? Because I've given it an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's like pretty good from what's shown. So, yeah. but it doesn't look like it. So yeah, I think basically I've covered basically the episode. So yeah, Power to 99 and Bitpolobidus 122. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. Thank you for your comments. They added some interesting bits to this discussion. I hope you'll all join me again for, like, as this is arguably one of my most commented live streams in a while. I hope you all join me again when I review the 7th episode, which will be out next week, though I'll probably not do it until like the weekend. But for now, I am Blue Star Saber signing off. Thank you, everyone, and goodbye.